Yeah, we've just been talking about new kinds of book-like experiences that one might make in the future or now, and I just get the feeling you could be really good at that, or interested in that. And what sort of does that idea appeal?
I think it does appeal to a certain extent. I mean, I like the traditional book format, and I think it's going to be a long time before certain people migrate to anything better. But I think, on the other hand, we have a wonderful opportunity here to use what there is to basically celebrate the written word. It's not just about games and gadgets and this kind of thing. We could use it to actually enhance the text and to make text more accessible, more interesting, and to include things in text which we've never had before. Pictures, hyperlinks, perhaps data banks of information depending on what it is that you're reading. It would be quite useful, in fact, particularly if you're reading about something informative, to be able to click on a link and to get a bank of information about it, which will help you to understand what you're reading rather than have to look at reference books and more reference books. It could be a sort of an encyclopedia inside the text, and that would be nice.
Fantastic.
And there are some visuals as well, I think, that we could use to make the page more appealing, particularly to younger readers.
Yeah. And you have a big sort of community of readers around your work, and the idea of being able to sort of do something slightly different with that community and curate that relationship, does that interest you?
It does. I mean, with my YA book, Rune Marks, I got a lot of younger readers, and it was clear that they wanted some level of interaction, and so I had to think about what we could do. And so on the website there are games to play, and there are particularly rune casting games because they wanted lots and lots of stuff about the runes, and so I wrote some things and then I linked up to some other things, and then we had a very simple little program whereby you could just cast your own runes and then it would flash up the meanings of them. And of course there was a whole world of fan fiction out there which kind of migrated onto the site because the kids brought this on themselves.
Yeah, wonderful.
Fan fiction, fan art, so I created some links to that, and now it just kind of feeds on itself.
Brilliant. And who does that? I mean, one of the things we've been talking about is how publishers, I feel, don't quite get it yet. They'll do things to promote the book,
Publishers totally don't
but
get it.
actually this sort of curating the experience, it's somewhere between. It's not just marketing or promoting, it's part of the creative impulse in the first place.
Yes, it is.
And I wonder whether there's a new kind of role emerging for people doing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or whether it's something that some authors will really want to do themselves.
Well, I think actually it's best if you do it yourself. I think it shows if you don't want to do it. It shows if somebody else is doing it on your behalf and you're not involved. And I think the usefulness of it is very much lessened if you're not really fully behind it. I think this is something that some people can choose to do if they want to. And I think it does enhance it all. But I mean, there are clearly some writers who are just not interested at all and who wouldn't want to do it, and it would be unfair to expect them to spend time.
And some who might be interested but not want to actually do, would want to work with, I suppose, with people who are kind of have an empathetic relationship with the text and are interested in and technical skills and want to develop that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not particularly
like a cover designer or
literate in technology, but I have somebody who helps me and actually does the kind of the grunt work on the site, and I write all the stuff and he then puts it on and formats it the way I want to, and that works fine. But I find that actually, rather than eating up my time, it helps save time in the long run, because it puts information out there, and it means that people are not constantly getting to me and asking the same questions over and over again and wanting the same information. They can just go on there and experience the site, which is, because there's so much of me in there, it's kind of second to actually talking to me. I mean, actually, the reason we have publishers is all about marketing and distribution. Whereas, if you can market your book online already, and if you can distribute it online just by getting people to order it and clicking it on, then you don't need publishers at all. And a lot of young bands have found this and have found that they don't need to be attached to record labels.
Yeah.
And as it becomes a more and more acceptable thing to sell yourself on YouTube or whatever, this is going to be more and more a concern for publishers, and I think they're going to have to do something about it at some point, because otherwise they may well be left in the wake of a whole load of authors going their own way and doing very well.